Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Speaker in the Spotlight series, where we are showcasing some of the speakers in the upcoming Children's Mental Health Matters Summit, which starts on the 16th of September. I am joined by Duncan Casburn today.
Hello.
Hello, Duncan. How are you?
I'm very well. Well, yeah. I say I'm very well because the other answer is just far too long and complicated to get into right now.
So doing the default, yeah, I'm fine.
I'm fine.
Yeah, we won't dig into that today. I was
still head of hair yesterday, but that's all. Yeah.
So without further ado, I'm just going to hand over to you to give us an introduction to who you are, like as a person, not what you do to help other people, but who Duncan is.
Okay, well, I'm Australian, so you'll have to talk slowly so I can understand. I have a neuro-spicy family, I call them. I've got a wife who is bipolar, autistic, and epileptic, and fibromyalgic, and basically shorter to list the issues she doesn't have than that she does. My daughter is autistic with what's called a PDA profile, Pathological Demand Avoidance. My son is ADHD. And I am the boring neurotypical one in the house. I love guitar. I love music. You can probably see from my backdrop here. But yeah, that's my thing. If I'm not doing other bits and pieces, I love to pick up the guitar. That's my safe place, and my escape is a bit of music. Everyone knows when I'm arriving home because the street hears it from the car.
Amazing. Music is good for the soul. It's definitely amazing.
It is. There's a great webinar that's going to be on that, isn't there, as well, which I'm looking forward to hearing too.
There is. Yeah, indeed there is. So what is it that you do? Like, how has living with a neurospicy family, has that influenced what it is you do to help others?
Well, yeah, I mean, we went through a real challenging time when we were trying to get my daughter diagnosed. It took 8 years from start to finish to get the diagnosis in place, because PDA especially is a very hard thing to be recognized, and it's considered to be a rare profile on the autism spectrum, but I found it's anything but. And I've spoken to so many parents and carers now who are experiencing issues related to PDA. Basically, we just had so little support, and we knew so little going into this. My daughter was our first child. She's 5 years older than my son. And it was like, where do we go? What do we do? And we were being told this, and we were being forced to do that. And social services were intervening, but it wasn't intervening in a very healthy way. And turns out it was completely the wrong way to handle what we were doing. And then we got into parent blame. And it's our fault because, my wife's bipolar, so that must be her. So, and they just went through this whole thing. And it was such a nightmare, such a stressful time, that somebody else who I knew, who we were both experiencing similar things, her daughter is autistic. She's autistic herself, actually. We started a group on Facebook, and she no longer is part of it. But basically, this group on Facebook is the UK Autism Spectrum Parent Support Group, which is a bit of a mouthful, but it kind of does what it says on the tin. Yeah. From that, there were a lot of questions that were coming up, and they were the same questions. And it was like constantly sending links. And I realized a lot of people don't like to read stuff, people who are ADHD, or people who, are traveling in the car or busy and they don't have time, but they could stick on a video in the background or an audio. So I thought, well, I'm going to just sit in front of a camera on YouTube and I'll record bits that answer these questions, and we can chuck them on there. And that kind of developed into my YouTube channel, which is PDA Dad UK. And on that, I discuss partly what we go through as a family. I talk about autism and neurodivergence in general. It's developed now into one. I get to interview so many fascinating and incredible people. And obviously Eva Abley, who is a keynote for this summit, is somebody who I've interviewed a few times. And if you get a chance to check that one out, if you don't do anything else, watch the interview with Eva, because she's absolutely fantastic. But yeah, so from that, I've got over, I think I've nearly 12,000 subs on that YouTube channel, which for a niche channel, it's not too bad. And we've got 65,000 plus members on that UK autism parent support group, which is just fantastic. And from that, I've got into sort of public speaking. I do events. I will put myself out there wherever I can. I don't make money from it, and I don't want to make money from it. One of the things I really felt, and the reason, I mean, I know one of the questions coming up is why did I want to do this summit? But actually, one of the big things about that was anybody can access this for free. You don't have to pay for it. And I think so many support options out there come with a little fine print that suddenly you've got to pay quite a bit of money or this or that. I really like that this is going out. It's got amazing people who are doing an amazing job of talking about this stuff, but anybody can access it for free. And I think that's spot on as it should be.
Yeah, amazing. And we have tried to make it as accessible with that. So we're sort of trying to keep the, you know, the number of talks per day down and giving 48 hours. So as people, you know, people have a life, they're not going to just sit and, you know, do this.
That's what I really love is that, you know, people have got time to indulge in this stuff and to dive into it and maybe come back to it later. I think that's how it should be. So yeah, I love that it's that. I love there's an option to pay if it's going to benefit someone and you can get more access. But I think that the bare meat of the whole thing, that the real meal itself, the main dish, if you like, is available for everyone. And I think that's brilliant.
Yeah. Thank you. So I think you've covered, you know, why. Was there any other reason that you wanted to join us?
Yeah, actually, well, I mean, it's interesting. We've been going through a lot of issue. My daughter's mental health at the moment, it has been dreadful. We've been facing loads of issues with school refusal, with her own, the way that she deals with mental health. The PDA and mental health working together don't make great bedmates, I've got to say. And they, the way that her PDA is often expressed is through aggression and just outright frustration, not her fault. And you'll see that in my seminar. But the fact is that it's been a really challenging time. And I think that we live in a world now where so much pressure is on our kids that we didn't experience even 15, 20 years ago with social media and how bullying doesn't end at the front door kind of thing. But, you know, it's that sort of what I thought was really interesting and important to talk about, but also the fact that there's such an important thing about love. And I really appreciated being able to do an extra thing, which is on the paid area of the summit, which was on the love languages and the neurodivergent love languages, which are actually a bit different. So it was on that because it was affecting me so closely. When you reached out to me and asked if I'd be interested, I leapt at it because I thought this is exactly what's needed for so many.
Yeah, amazing. And I do appreciate you joining, and because we always have a shortage of the, you know, the dad's perspective, the male perspective in that. So I do appreciate you coming on board and sharing what it is. And do you want to give a little bit more about what you are sharing without too much?
Yeah, I'll just give the seminar here. Look, the webinar itself is basically about really focused on what we're experiencing now. But my journey as a father, I think as a parent first, secondly as a father, I think it affects us as blokes differently. And what I've gone into is some of the mistakes I've made. I've gone into how I've learned to care for myself and the little sort of things I've managed to learn through this particular journey and come out the other side looking after myself, because if I'm not there, I can't be there to help my family. And I've realized that's a balance that we have to get. So that's where I sort of come from with this webinar. So please, yeah, do join me for it. I'm stoked to hear what everyone thinks.
Yeah, amazing. And yeah, definitely tune in to watch it, because it is it's an amazing talk. And obviously all your links are going to be with this interview, but is there anywhere that you tend to be? I mean, you've mentioned your YouTube channel, so is that where you tend to be the most that people can reach you?
The two most available places to get me are going to be YouTube, because that's where you'll see all my content, and you know, you get to know me really well through that, I guess. But also Facebook. I do have a PDA Dad UK page on Facebook, which you can contact me through, and people do. And I mean, I do a lot of channel work with a number of institutions around and speak to a lot of parents and carers going through stuff. So I'm always happy to engage if I can help as a novice.
No, that is amazing, and we will also link your YouTube channel with this as well, so as people can check that out.
Subscribe. I'm a YouTuber. I have to say that it's in the contract.
Yeah, I was going to say it's in the script, isn't it? So that's amazing. Thank you for your time today. I apologize for animals and children moving around.
It's okay. I have to seal myself in a shed to avoid it. So,
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Duncan. And if you want to register for your free ticket, just go to www.childrensmentalhealthmatterssummit.co.uk and do tune in to watch Duncan and the other speakers, and join us again for another speaker in the spotlight very soon. So for now, see you later. Bye bye.